your host for this evening, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight on behalf of ZEE5 Global. A very warm welcome to all of you, our teams, our partners, and the media. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Today is a very special occasion where we make a big announcement for our US market. It's going to be a wonderful evening filled with exciting updates, conversations, perspectives, and of course, a whole lot of fun. We're going to start off by telling you a bit about ZEE5 Global and the work we've done around South Asian entertainment. We'll also be sharing our big news and upcoming plans for our businesses. We all know the deep connect the diaspora around the world has for our movies and popular TV shows, and also the craze for Bollywood in many, many countries. ZEE5 Global is ZEE5's international arm that takes our content across the globe, and especially to the huge South Asian audience around the world who remain Desi at heart and are deeply connected to their entertainment. So what makes our diaspora such a key segment to tap into, though? The South Asian diaspora is among the world's largest and most widespread and key contributors to their host economies. In countries like the US, they are at the top of the pyramid, and I know this, with a median household income of almost $130,000 per year, which is double the national average. Today, it's an increasingly prominent and influential segment that's shining across business, politics, music, entertainment, and other fields. This last year has been an especially massive one for the diaspora, and I'm so excited to tell you why. 25 chief executives at S&P 500 companies today are of Indian descent. Come on, you've got to give a round of applause for that. That's huge. There are 3 Indian Americans in the race for the US presidential elections. That's huge. This is my favorite because I'm a big fan of Coachella, but Diljit Dosanjh was the first Indian artist to perform at the Coachella Festival in the US in 2023, and he did such an amazing job. And it was an unprecedented year for Indian cinema. The Oscars with The Elephant Whisperer. Has everybody seen The Elephant Whisperer? Oh my God, it was fantastic. And I have cried and cried and cried. It made me an emotional wreck, and I just want to go there and be with the elephants. I cannot get over that film, documentary. And RRR, come on, give it a round of applause, which was streaming on our platform, and several other recognitions have happened. So today, as a community, we stand at a pivotal point. Clearly, this is South Asia's moment and the perfect timing to tap into the potential of the cohort, which is what ZEE5 Global has done so amazingly. Connecting millions of South Asians around the world to the content from their homeland. Here's a look at ZEE5 Global's remarkable journey in international markets. Let's have the AV.
Are you ready for this?
Thank you so much for joining us today for the much-awaited launch of ZEE5 in the United States of America.
My quest is to be able to create more recognition, representation, and to be able to have South Asians feel seen, and feel heard, especially within the international community outside of South Asia. Which is why I'm really glad that you guys are doing what you are, and which is why the synergy, I guess, works, is because that's absolutely my personal quest as well.
welcome to the ZEE5 AAS Networking Workshop. People are sending stories about the ZEE5 event from India.
I grew up in Delhi and then I moved to the US. So I used to have access to a lot of Bollywood and Bollywood content, but when moving here, I didn't really find a streaming service for both of them. So ZEE5 is amazing. So I'm really excited. Thank you.
I really grew up with watching ZTV shows and movies just with my parents and grandparents when they were here, and that was really a way for me to connect, learn more about Indian culture and come to appreciate it a lot more. I think that really formed a large part of my identity.
Wow, the world's #1 South Asian streaming platform. That's such an achievement and one that truly warrants a celebration like this. I'm so proud that a homegrown Indian platform has managed to make such an impact globally. But we also have a vision of just how much bigger this business can be taken globally and a clear roadmap drawn up for the way ahead. I'd like to invite Amit Goenka, President, Digital Businesses and Platforms, on stage to tell us a bit about the digital landscape and the market opportunity. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Anusha. Thank you. And thank you for that lovely introduction.
You're so welcome.
To ZEE5. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I think ZEE5 Global is, at least in India, I think, probably one of our very well-kept secrets. I don't know what to call it, but I think it's one of Zee's feather in Zee's cap. I think that's what I would like to say here today, because I think in the short span of 4 years, we've become the #1 streaming OTT platform for South Asian content globally. Not only in the US, like the AV said, but across Europe, Australia, Middle East. I think we are #1 across. In the US alone, we are, in terms of user base, almost 15 times bigger than our closest, I won't say competition, but closest peer. In terms of subscriber base, we are more than 5 times to our closest peer. So I think ZEE5 Global has done a phenomenal job in the global markets. And I think that's what brings us here today. That's what brings all of us here today into what's next. You know, what's the next part of our journey? And that's what we'll talk about a little bit. I think because we've reached that pinnacle, we said, okay, with the Zee content, we can only go, you know, of course, we can still go further. But I think that we wanted to add on something beyond that. And that's what we're here for. I think we're here to launch ZEE5 Plus, which Archana and the rest of her team will talk about in a little bit. But I'll just tell you, I think the content, of course, being the key is our key product. But at the same time, you know, the product experience is key. And I think that's what we at Zee are striving to achieve in terms of providing that global experience to users, especially in markets like US. The consumer is far evolved. They have access to far better streaming platforms than the Indian consumer. And I think that's what our product and technology teams have done over the last couple of years, given us that improved consumer experience. And that's what I think will take us to the next level. So I want to thank our product and engineering teams for doing a fabulous job over the last couple of years for getting us there. And at the same time, I think, you know, we have wonderful partners, and Archana will talk about all of them in a bit. We have wonderful partners who are here today, and you'll hear from them as well in a bit in terms of what they look forward to from this partnership. But I think what I would like to say is that, you know, I think it's such a win-win for our partners and us, where they bring the content, the add-on content to the platform for the consumer. Because the consumer is obviously, in markets like US, is fragmented, right? You have 100,000 households in LA or in the Silicon Valley region. You have the tri-state area, which is very big. You have Texas, which is very big for South Asian. But it's fragmented. It's all over the place. So marketing and acquiring those consumers is not easy. And I think that's what ZEE5 has done. ZEE5 has been able to acquire these consumers in the last 4 years. And I think that's really what the strength is that we have, to take all our partners to these markets and get them entry and get them the users that they require to showcase their wonderful content. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on back to Anusha, take it forward. But thank you all for being here. I think this is an exciting day for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit. Well, without further ado, it's my honor to invite Archana Anand, Chief Business Officer, ZEE5 Global, onto the stage to tell us more about their plans and why we are all here today.
Thanks, Anusha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anusha. Hello there. Taking ZEE5 to #1 South Asian platform internationally has been the most exhilarating journey by far. And we have so enjoyed the challenge of entering brand new markets, understanding the consumer dynamics, finding innovative ways to reach our consumers, and ultimately serving them the content they love from back home. Our vision and ambition, however, does extend way beyond this. ZEE5 Global is today uniquely positioned to solve for some of the more compelling challenges faced by our consumers and the industry, while also leading the charge on championing South Asian content globally. We do aspire to make ZEE5 Global the single-point destination for all of South Asian entertainment. We're also very invested in helping to change the narrative of the global South Asian, and while doing so, being at the forefront of South Asian content going mainstream. Our first aspiration links back to the crossroads at which we stand as an industry. World over, streaming as a model is under stress. And it's primarily because too many have jumped into the streaming game, creating huge fragmentation of both content and consumer. While the initial rationale for getting into streaming was mainly to distribute one's content to a wider audience. Today, with the skyrocketing costs of content and customer acquisition, and the huge problem of churn, the sustainability of this model is being called into question. The demand side has its own challenges. With the proliferation of streaming platforms, consumers are experiencing subscription fatigue. The average US consumer, for example, has about 3 streaming services, and a huge proportion of them have nearly 5. It gets even more complicated for the diaspora consumer. Beyond the 250+ streaming services in the US, they have to deal with more than 30 South Asian platforms, which means way more confusion, insane costs. So we reached out to some of these consumers in the US to hear their first-hand view of the challenges. See this in this AV, and then we'll talk.
Hi, Kiyo, Majame.
I am Jackie.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, hi, this is Kiran.
I'm in the US for almost 15 years now.
For about 17 years.
More than 20 years.
5 decades, I guess.
For 3 decades.
About 30 years. More than 10 years.
5 years.
More than 20 years.
I do not go to movie theaters anymore because web streaming is very convenient and the timing works really well for me.
Hindi and Malayalam, but of course, I like to watch the Telugu and Tamil movies too.
Hindi, Bengali.
Mostly web series and movies. Yeah, actually, I love watching with subtitles because India has so many languages and some regional language movies are great.
South movie, Chuke Gane Sana. Fluently.
I'm a movie maniac. I just want variety.
We watch a lot of Marathi movies.
There are multiple apps. That's a big challenge.
Often, like, good classics that we might be actually looking for are missing.
Option is much less.
After time, I'm like, I pay for subscriptions that I don't even watch.
Content keeps shifting from platform to platform, and as a consumer, that's very frustrating.
You know, the content you want to watch, sometimes it's not available. on the choices I have made.
Because a lot of people, when they come to US, they don't know how to access Indian content. So there should be a proper advertisement for that.
Remember those passwords, like the number of devices, like in which you can stay logged in.
Some of the content which I really want to watch has some restrictions, like region restrictions.
Main thing, interface. Make it user-friendly, make things easily searchable, put the top 10 or top 20.
Paying subscription for so many, that is a big thing.
It is a lot. Yep, it's a pain.
One app which have everything in it for us and for kids also.
App that has all of the different content, something that's searchable and dividable by language.
Everything is in one stop. It just makes it so much easier for everybody.
So I have to promise you we didn't tutor them. Those were real videos shot with genuine questions asked. So how is all of this impacting streaming? With viewers struggling to discover, manage, access, and pay for content, the industry at large is seeing reduced engagement and increasing churn. It's even tougher when you cater to a niche segment. South Asian platforms who have gone international are really grappling with customer acquisition costs that can go as high as $90 in the US to target an audience that's scattered across the immense geography, like Amit mentioned, right? In Texas, tri-state area, Bay Area, they're all over. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Add in marketing and tech costs, and it becomes an unviable proposition for most. And then there is rampant piracy, with many consumers tending to gravitate towards pirate IPTV boxes. Aggregation is therefore the logical, legitimate, and obvious solution. But then again, not everyone can take on this mantle. An aggregator needs to necessarily boast reach, distribution might, and strength of consumer data. This is where ZEE5 Global has a unique advantage. We already have the largest reach to the South Asian cohort, as you saw in our journey video. We already aggregate 250,000 hours of content across 12 key languages. With this, we're already armed with keen data insights into the myriad cohorts and their viewership preferences for targeting, cross-selling, and upselling of content. All this does position us just perfectly to play the role of aggregator, the single largest aggregator of South Asian content in the world. With that, I do invite Amit to please unveil ZEE5 Global Add-ons. Yeah. I won't. You just have to turn around and press it, Amit.
That was simply stunning. Congratulations to ZEE5 Global on such a momentous launch. This definitely calls for a photograph, so can I please have Amit and Archana back on stage for a photo opt.
So introducing ZEE5 Global Add-ons, a premium service that from today will enable all South Asians in the US and soon in other countries across the globe access to exclusive content from multiple South Asian partners. Simply South for the biggest titles across South Indian languages, iStream, the first and only Malayalam content streaming platform, Oho Gujarati, your favorite Gujarati shows and movies, Chaupal for the best of Punjabi, Bhojpuri and Haryanvi content, and Namaflix for the best in Kannada. And then there is Epic On for the choicest Hindi entertainment. We've got another 6 partners that are in the process of being onboarded, so we're truly ambitious in our dream of becoming a single point destination. From today, we become the largest and most comprehensive one-stop destination for South Asian content in the US and very soon globally. There's an interesting AV.
The only destination where maximum convenience meets maximum entertainment and maximum value. The only South Asian destination where the more you seek, the more you get. The more you get, the more you find. Bring it on. The ZEE5 universe is all set to expand. Introducing ZEE5 Add-ons. The very best of South Asian entertainment under one roof. Premium stories like never before. Formats like never before. Star-studded blockbusters like never before. Languages like never before. At a price like never before. It's time to unlock the ultimate destination for South Asian entertainment. Many more add-ons coming your way soon.
So what does add-on mean for our US consumers? Even more content choices, more Hindi, more Punjabi, more Tamil, more Telugu, more Kannada content, and for the very first time, Haryanvi content and even Gujarati, which is an absolute first for our platform and so relevant to the huge Gujarati audiences in the US. At the core of add-ons is convenience. Imagine having all the content you want to watch consolidated under one roof, which means one app to download, a single billing platform for all your transactions, a single login and password to remember, personalized recommendation across languages, a unified user interface, and search across platforms so you no longer need to remember where your show is, and an ad-free viewing experience to boot. There's more. For most of us today, language is no longer a barrier to watching great content. Whether it's watching RRR originally in Telugu, or Sirf Ek Banda, originally in Hindi, both these went across multiple Indian languages, ensuring audiences could enjoy the beauty of these stories. Through ZEE5 Add-ons, we'll now expand your world by recommending great watches, not just in your own language, but across languages and curated just for you. But one of the hugest benefits, by far, is that you'll get all of this content from so many platforms at rates that are the most competitive in the market. So way more content and at way lower spends. Add-ons isn't just about making life easier for our consumers. With add-ons, our partners will get instant access to our massive consumer base, our cutting-edge discovery and recommendation engine, which will help their content find newer audiences, Most importantly, add-ons will enable our partners to negate those huge marketing costs, customer acquisition costs, and tech costs, altogether freeing up funds for their true vision, which was to create content, and allowing them to be EBITDA positive from the get-go, with all the heavy lifting of costs being shouldered by us. It's partnering for a win-win game for all, and really the only logical way forward in a universe where all of us jumped into streaming without a comprehensive understanding of the challenges or what it really entails to get ahead. With this launch, we truly look to help build a better streaming model, one marked by improved profitability for all, better user experience for consumers, and greater value for content creators. It's a step towards creating a thriving ecosystem for creators and consumers alike. I now call on the partner video.
Hello and Vanakkam. The magic of South Indian cinema has captured the global entertainment space like never before. Given ZEE5's vast and diverse library of South Indian content, they were our obvious choice to partner with in the US. I'm excited to announce that Simply South, the premium destination for Tamil, Telugu and Malayalam content, is now an add-on partner for ZEE5.
For all the Gujaratis in the US, we are happy to be coming on board with ZEE5 as their add-on partner in the US. Expect to see some of the best faces and the biggest stars from the Gujarati entertainment industry and many more.
Hello and namaste to all our Epicon fans. It gives us immense pride to join hands with ZEE5 as an add-on partner in the US. With Epicon, the US users can now unlock a gateway to India with our infotaining Indian content via Bollywood movies, documentaries, shows and many more content which is available.
Hello and namaskar to all streamers. We are thrilled to collaborate with ZEE5, the world's largest South Asian streaming destination, as an add-on partner. It's going to be a double the punch of ZEE5 and Numberflix's best Kannada content streaming on your screens.
Hello and namaskaram. iStream has now joined hands with ZEE5 as an add-on partner. This gives us instant access to ZEE5's huge database and an insight into the ever-changing entertainment needs and patterns of our audience.
Sat Sri Akal or Pranam. There's been a growing demand for Punjabi, Bhojpuri and Haryanvi content in the US. To cater to the specific regional entertainment needs, Chopal need to align with a partner who is in sync with the pulse of South Asian audience in the US. It could be none other than ZEE5, the #1 South Asian streaming destination in the US.
Thank you to our dear partners, and we do look forward to an amazing partnership ahead. To kick off ZEE5 Global Add-ons, we're also rolling out some very compelling campaigns. ZEE5 Add-ons will be launched on the back of the biggest consumer give-back program within the streaming industry, where consumers will stand to win guaranteed gifts and a chance to enter sweepstakes for prizes ranging from gift cards to an all-expense-paid trip to destinations like Vegas and Hawaii. And more on the purchase of a ZEE5 add-on subscription. There will be in association with multiple partners, including Indian grocery marketplace Quickly. And then there is our fun campaign that you will see all over social media. Can we have that one on? It's an absolute favorite. You're going to see it go viral. How awesome is that? So if you're seeing that, you know, that's us taking all of our partners right into the heart of Times Square, New York. And you're going to see that everywhere. We're also really excited to launch a very relevant campaign for our Indian consumer. So I'm sure there isn't a single person in this room who doesn't have either friends or family in the US. Refer for them a ZEE5 subscription, and for every successful referral, you walk away with 500 rupees. And the best part is there's absolutely no capping on how many you can refer. So technically, refer 10, walk away with 5,000. The more refer, the more you earn. And that's what our referral program is all about. So that's going to be for the Indian consumer. And finally, a long-standing vision of ours as a group to be at the forefront of the fight for piracy. It's something that directly impacts our industry at large, its hardworking professionals, and the ecosystem. The RAND report, which I think we discovered about 2 years ago, provides compelling evidence of a broad connection between film piracy and organized crime. And it has been our endeavor via these campaigns to share this information with the world. Given that consumers turn to pirate boxes for only one of two reasons. It's either to get all their content in one place or to get it at lower costs, we believe ZEE5 Add-ons now gives them a legitimate solution and further strengthens our fight against piracy. So these were the 3 campaigns we're launching on the back of add-ons, and we're very excited for how it's all going to turn out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you again.
Thank you so much, Archana. That's so wonderful to hear. You know, all these campaigns you've spoken about sound so fabulous, and I'm sure people both in the US and in India will be eagerly awaiting further details. I'd love that trip to Hawaii, so if you want to make me win it, I'm good, for instance. And the India-US referral is such a great idea. I have so much family and friends in the US, and I'm sure everybody here knows somebody in the US for sure. So who would you love to refer ZEE5 to? Start thinking. We can all do this as an active, movement for ZEE5. And the anti-piracy campaign you mentioned is also so resonant, as this is an issue that impacts not just me, but my entire industry and all of us here in so many ways. But I know that just from our spot boy to our DOP, to our light, to our sound, to our directors, to everybody that works so hard, including the actors and everybody that works so hard, piracy is a real issue, and they don't realize that it's really unfair to the entire production that has taken months, years to create so much magic that you get to see on screen. And, just with a click, nobody maybe thinks about it, and they just watch a movie on the side, on the sly. But that takes away so much from our entire industry. So please, let's not do it the piracy way. Let's be legal, always. And I love to see that it's a global, take a stance against it. It was also so interesting to hear about the RAND report. Definitely we'll try and read up more about it to understand it better. Now, I'm going to move to the side because I think they're going to bring some chairs in here. It's going to get interesting. It's a really exciting time for South Asian content. It's been the year of RRR and the Elephant Whisperers, and a time when South Asians are shining across business, tech, and other spheres. It's the time for South Asians, and as a global but locally rooted brand, ZEE5 Global looks to be at the forefront of this story. To that end, we have a lovely panel for you today to share their thoughts on the subject, all accomplished people who have had a massive impact on the global stage and are key drivers of the change we all want to see. So, let me just start introducing them. Introducing Anupama Chopra, the founder and editor of Film Companion, India's leading English language platform for all things entertainment, news, reviews, and interviews. Anupama has been a film critic for more than 2 decades. She is a national award-winning book author. Anupama is also the festive director of the Geo Mami Mumbai Film Festival and chairperson of the Film Critics Guild. Hi. Nice to see you. Give her a round of applause. Please take a seat. You can. I mean, he's everybody's favorite. Manoj Bajpai, an acting stalwart who is one of the finest exponents of method acting in the country. Manoj Bajpai is an actor for all seasons in an illustrious career that has extended over 25 years and has since flourished in the course of over 70 feature film credits and multiple national and filmfare awards. He has immortalized characters of all shades in movies belonging to diverse genres. Needless to say, accolades have come beckoning in the form of multiple filmfare and national film awards. I mean, do I need to say any more? He's just incredible. Manoj Vajpayee. One of my favorites. Next, joining us on the panel is Guneet Monga, an Indian film producer, an Academy Award winner and BAFTA nominee, and amongst the first producers from India to be invited to the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. The founder of Sikya Entertainment, a Mumbai-based production house. She has produced close to 30 feature films that include the groundbreaking The Lunchbox, Monsoon, Shout Out, Masan, and Gangs of Wasepur, all of which received critical acclaim at prestigious international festivals such as Cannes, TIFF, and Sundance. Guneet was one of the executive producers behind the documentary short film Period, End of Sentence, which won an Academy Award in 2019. Most recently, we all know Guneet produced the wonderful Elephant Whisperers, which won the Academy Award 2023 for the Best Documentary Short Film. Okay. A true master of storytelling, what can I say? A maestro whose artistic brilliance knows no bounds, a name synonymous with cinematic magic in both music and direction. Please join me in welcoming the luminary, the visionary, the incomparable Vishal Bhardwaj. Through the mastery of the craft, he has woven multiple national award-winning intricate tales and given the audience masterpieces like Maqbool, Omkara, and Heather. Ladies and gentlemen, Vishal Bhardwaj. And Prateek Gandhi, who has made a place in the audience's mind with his memorable portrayal of Harshad Mehta in Scam. 1992, directed by Hansal Mehta, having acted in various Gujarati plays, notably Mohan's Masala, that created history when it entered the Limca Book of World Records in 2016 for the performance of one play in multiple languages, Hindi, English, and Gujarati, in one day. Having secured many such iconic awards, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to invite Prateek Gandhi. Thank you so much. And I would like to also ask Archana, you're already here, Anand, to join us on stage. It's such an honor to have you all here, and I'll hand it over to you guys.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, all my amazing panelists. So lovely to see you all. You know, I want to start with a flashback. 2020, Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon becomes this international blockbuster. It becomes the first non-English film to hit 100 million at the US box office, wins the foreign language Oscar. And I remember conversations from Bandra to Andheri, कि हम ये कैसे करें? You know, how do we create a crossover hit? What do we do? And the truth is, it didn't happen. You had sporadic moments here, there. And I remember meeting Anurag Kashyap at the Cannes Film Festival, and with its very despondent voice, he said to me that I feel like Indian cinema is the comic relief on the global cinema stage. And I'm just so thrilled, as someone, Manoj and I have both been here for 30 years now. As someone who has loved Indian cinema and championed Indian cinema, I cannot tell you the joy it gives me to see how much South Asian storytelling is now in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
I feel like apna time aa gaya hai.
Yes.
And it's such a wonderful thing, you know.
That's what
it's
it
such
says,
a
right?
wonderful
Our
thing.
time is now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, from everything Anusha said, from Natu Natu, RRR, to like literally, I think last week, Veer Das winning the international Emmy, Ekta Kapoor winning an international Emmy. It's just such a vibrant time. And Acha, I want to start with you. Of course, as we just saw, ZEE5 Global is the world's largest streaming platform for South Asian content. It's now going to become the single destination for South Asian content. But how do you want to use this to propel change in both the way content is created and the way content is consumed?
So I think this is working, yeah. Thank you. So I think, over a period in time, we've gotten very ambitious. We've had some little wins that has spurred us on. And I think a lot of our success this year was definitely on the back of the fabulous success of RRR. And RRR brought something very interesting to the fore, Anupama. Across the Bay Area, we were told that young teenagers were calling their friends into their homes for watch parties to watch RRR. American friends, right? Local American friends were coming and watching RRR along with their Desi friends, much like you'd watch a Marvel movie. And for us, that was the first sense of, are we creating the start of a crossover? Because like you said, that's never really happened, right? And that got us ambitious to saying that, we at Zee really want to be at the forefront of creating that content that, does the crossover and goes mainstream. So that's definitely a big ambition. I think one other ambition that I have, which has come from the conversations I've had with people in the US, saying that too long there has been this strange filter of how the Western world sort of perceives us, whether it's Apu from Simpsons or Raj Koothrappalli from Big Bang. He's always that awkward brown guy. I think Vinod Khosla says it really well. He says, we were the people with a bad accent and an awkward gait and had to live to a higher bar. That world has changed, right? I mean, that's completely changed. Today, we are living in a time of Rishi Sunak and Ajay Banga and every second CEO from the Bay Area being Indian and 3 people in the presidential race, like somebody said, and, RRR and elephant whisperers. I think the narrative has to change, and I think we're very, very dreamy-eyed about writing that new story of the new South Asian and leading that. So those would be the 2 at my end.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. We have an Oscar winner just sitting here.
Thank you.
It's so lovely.
I know. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's, it's actually an honor being here. I think as a producer, more than anything, of course, being in love with Indian cinema. I also grew up watching and loving our stories, our music. I think we are also, as Indian cinema, we are also responsible for the music that we give to the country with every film. This is, that becomes our pop culture. So I think as a producer, I'm kind of a producing geek, if I may say so. For me, it's always like, I think there's some brilliant work happening. How do I take it far? How do I add value? How do I increase the footprint of something that somebody is already beautifully creating? And that's been at the core of my being at the very start. So we're a 100% equity industry, but if we can constantly expand our footprint, that started from Gangs of Wasseypur. In fact, Gangs of Wasseypur, which very few people know, was the first Indian 5.5-hour film that was released as an 8-part mini-series in US on Netflix. And that's a deal that I fronted. And I was very excited to be able to break through in 2012, 2013, a mini-series in a new format, and that was Gangs of Wasseypur. So I think learning both sides, a crouching tiger, hidden dragon is waiting to happen. Our Indian breakout is waiting to happen across series, across films, but yes, through music, through sound, through animation, maybe this year, through documentary, we are moving forward. And we are seen as best in the world. We're seen as a huge country. We're seen as cinema lovers. We're seen as a huge, huge potential. The world is looking at us. Content-wise, we are doing incredible work. I think there's a bridge that needs to be made. And that is something that many of us as producers are putting forward. And I hope with Zee's outreach and ambition, that becomes easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, by the way, she let me hold that Oscar.
Oh, nice.
I've touched it. Manoj, as I said, you and I have both been here since the early 90s. We've seen the industry go through a lot of changes. And I'm sure you remember a time when the idea was that जो non-resident Indians हैं, the NRI population only sees a certain kind of film. It has to have stars, scale, songs, and family values. And now, here we are, your film, Sirf Ek Banda Kafi Hai, did fabulously well. What is your sense of how audiences have changed?
The audience was always there. I always believed in this, Anu. And whenever I visited a friend of mine or a relative in USA, there was someone in that crowd, in that party, who always made it a point to come and talk to me for hours, while everybody was dancing and drinking. But there was one person who always came to me and, showed so much of reverence, so much of regard and respect, not only to me, but to a whole lot of people who were involved in making a kind of cinema which most of the diaspora was not watching it, okay? The diaspora was only talking to me about Veer Zara, which eventually started irritating the hell out of me, okay? So I have watched you in Veer Zara, and you were lovely, and I watched you in Zubaida. That's all they could,
You said कि मैंने और बहुत काम किया
बहुत काम किया. So that was, but I could also see, few percentage of that crowd, which was not with those kind of films, but they were there. And I could see some hope in that crowd. And I realized that, it's going to take time. I don't know when, but it will happen. But I just hope that it will happen in my lifetime. I was dreaming, I was praying, and Ashina, I really didn't know that it will happen so soon. It's so rapid. And just when
Manoj has a lot of content on our platform, and he's incredibly popular. He came into the US recently. I think Sirf Ek Banda has done unbelievable numbers for us. So he's very lucky for us.
No, but it's also showing that somewhere there is a fatigue. There is, in entertainment also, what happens that the audience goes through different kind of phases. And long back, I remember someone saying, some analyst really analyzing about how films reflect the society or the mood of the society, and why Mr. Amitabh Bachchan came on the forefront of entertainment scene in his time, or Mr. Rajesh Khanna, or Mr. Shashi Kapoor. And somewhere I feel that, this is the mood of the audience which is changing everything. Right now they are completely scattered. They are watching Banda, they are watching some other contents which is completely story-oriented, performance-oriented, but at the same time they are also watching pot boilers.
Sure.
Okay? Yeah. So this is that kind of a time that we are living in. But one thing is fairly sure, which I observe, I may be wrong, Vishal may completely negate me, but I feel that they are also demanding from the filmmakers to be less indulgent. Okay? They want filmmakers to communicate with them. And though I have been on the in independent cinema scene for many years, and still I have been part of so many, and they are still coming in. But I feel that Joram's success, in all the festivals, is also a reflection of their mood. Yeah. They want to be empathetic to the character and to the story, but they also want to be connected to it, to be excited by the thrill and the drama part of it. This is so, and at the same time, RRR becoming successful. Some American friend of mine has pointed it out so fantastically that, you know, they were all tired of Marvel movies because it was so much of VFX and the faces of VFX, you know, so everything is about technology. But here RRR was talking about human interaction, okay, interpersonal relationship in all that drama and, you know, the stunts, everything larger than life. But the core of it was emotion, okay, and that has worked beautifully with them.
Totally agree.
And what a year he's had, okay? Gulmohar, Sirf Ek Banda, coming up is Joram. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Really.
Vishal, can I bring you in here? Now, you have seen international success very early on. Maqbool, which is one of my favorite films ever, which celebrates 20 years this year, my friends. Maqbool, great cinema. Went to the Toronto Film Festival, went to the Marrakesh Film Festival, so it did travel. Do you see a difference in the way that people are perceiving South Asian stories? It's not, is it still a more festival thing, or are you seeing an actual difference in the way that they're looking at us?
Yeah, I think the process, it was a whole process which started. And many films contributed to that, many filmmakers contributed to that. I think it started with Shekhar Kapoor, you know, the Bandit Queen, and Manoj has been part of all these movements. So I think it was a long process which started. I think I take the mother film as Bandit Queen.
Absolutely. 1994, Manoj Bajpayee's debut.
Yes.
Bandit Queen.
And what a lovely performance by Manoj in that. And from there to Joram, see his journey. I mean, he has been so consistent with his performances. So, you know, so it was a long process which started, you know, they used to take us as, you know, people dancing around the trees and, you know, so as Anurag said, you know, like we were the comic relief. But slowly, you know, then Rahman, you know, what he did in Slumdog. And I think another beautiful film which contributed to that was Lunchbox.
Absolutely. Guneet, take a bow.
Again,
Thank you.
Again, Guneet, that film, you know, I remember my writer friends and filmmaker friends from US and Europe, you know, they started saying that, you know, we are not getting tickets for Lunchbox, it's playing over there. And they started, so it was such a beautiful feeling, you know. So the movement started from there. And then, you know, with my Maqbool, you know, when Maqbool went to Toronto, I was not expecting anything because I never thought, you know, that, that my film will be taken seriously. But when the international press over there, when they started, you know, reacting after, in the Q&A, I realized that, you know, by default what has happened. And then now, you know, with humility, I want to say that, like, many people are doing doctorate and dissertations on my trilogy. 2 people have got doctorate here, and one is about to get in Europe.
How lovely. It's a doctorate in Vishal Bharadwaj. I love it.
On my Shakespeare trilogy, you know. So I think we are right now, we are part of that, of, you know, वो एक लहर में अभी हम लोग हैं उसमें. When जब हम उसको cross करेंगे, we'll look back and we'll see, you know, how many people have contributed. And I think this is a great platform what ZEE is doing now. And I started my career with ZEE. You know, my first short film I directed was for ZEE in long back in '99. I'm so happy for that this is happening, and we are making a mark. And like Guneet did, with Guneet, we all felt that we are on stage with her. We are sharing that. And the other day I read her interview that we are going to get you know, an Oscar for it. With the Hindi film, she's going to get it for us.
We'll do it, sir. We as Indian cinema will do it. I think festivals have played a very large role, and I think what we saw with Lunchbox, at the core of expansion of Indian content is distribution. Festival plays a role as a breakout, and then distribution is at the core of it. And I think that's where even ZEE5 steps in. because distribution allows content to travel and to be heard and to be seen in many local markets as a common, accessibly, freely celebrated, content. And I think something like that we are seeing now with a recent title of also ours, which I will say very humbly is Kill, which we premiered a couple of months ago in Toronto, and nothing of that is yet out, but the fact that we were able to do a fairly large deal with 500 cinemas with Lionsgate, it's a stepping stone of taking Indian content forward. And the minute you get distribution local from each and every country, and there is ways of aligning them to down the line from theatrical to digital, I think that is the core of taking our footprint forward.
It is. Prateek, now for the first time, ZEE5 Global is going to have Gujarati content. There's a massive Gujarati community in the US, and obviously that is a demographic you know very well. For the last couple of years, I've been seeing like these breakout Gujarati films, which were very impressive. I was talking to you earlier about Hilaro, about Kutch Express. Can you give us a sense of how the film industry has evolved?
So, Cinnamon Productions, Abhishek and Amit, they started making new age Gujarati films, which could connect Gujarati youth to Gujarati cinema after a long time. And we did our first film together called Bayar in 2012. That was my first ever full-length film that I did with my full-fledged job. So, 20 दिन की छुट्टी लेके that I shot that first film. And the moment film was released, it broke all the records. It changed the whole scenario for Gujarati films, because that was the first Gujarati film that got entry in multiplexes. And that was the first Gujarati film, the songs of which were there on each and every youngster's mobile. The Sachin Jigar gave the music for that. So I guess that's when we realized that people want to watch Gujarati content. And forget about others, at least Gujarati wants, all Gujaratis across, they want to watch Gujarati content. Since then, we did a lot of films, and since then, I guess the new wave started in Gujarati cinema. Though everything that starts suddenly, comes to a point where everybody starts mimicking each other, and they want to replicate the formula for success. So that's when the issue starts. And then I guess there are a lot of other films that came out which changed a lot of things. So Wrong Side Raju won National Award for Gujarati cinema after 21 years in 2017. And immediately next year, Hilaro came, and Hilaro won Golden Peacock in 2019. So slowly and steadily, I guess the face and the storytelling format of Gujarati is changing. The interesting part about the global Gujaratis is that I've been doing theatre since a long time now, and the Gujarati theatre has two different industries. So one is a professional Gujarati play circuit, that's a commercial circuit, and the other is experimental circuit. Somehow I was always a part of the experimental circuit, but the commercial Gujarati plays would travel all across the world with the play. And that's when I have realized and understood and spoken to all these diaspora abroad, that they are hungry for content. So each play will become a celebration there, will become a festival there for the whole community to come together and enjoy. So beyond a point, the quality, stops existing. They just want to come together. But they are constantly hungry for content. And I know the time where the series of Gujarati plays were watched like this, as you just mentioned, the community watching. Somebody would have the CD, they'll call all the families and friends and they'll watch it together. Slowly and steadily, Gujarati films started screening there. We've started having festivals there in US and Canada. And now films are releasing there. So with Zee Global, Oho Gujarati content, there are so many good stories coming from Gujarati literature, which will reach out to people now. And apart from Gujaratis, all other audiences also will be able to watch it. Yep. So it's an exciting time.
No, definitely, definitely. Now, one of the things I've heard, the creative mantras, is that the more local it is, the more universal it is, right? And obviously that we've seen it's true from Natu Natu to Elephant Whisperers. It is, the more rooted a story is, the more it seems to connect. But how do you all think we can sort of have and encourage filmmakers to tell more rooted stories. Because the truth is also that mainstream Indian cinema, and I'm generalizing here, but it is about broad basing. You want to appeal to the widest audience. So you do tend to kind of work in broad strokes. You're painting in broad strokes. How do we kind of encourage more filmmakers to be more rooted?
Okay, I always personally believed, when I was working with Mr. Mahesh Bhatt, I was also assisting him, and I've done a role in Tamanna, and then we used to spend a lot of time together. That was the time I vividly remember that one day I told him that our cinema is going towards the worst because our heroes are not looking like their audience. Okay, and this is a danger. And then Mahesh Bhatt Sahib used to give his, two bits about things. But I always fought with him on that point. And then I started being proven wrong. Because more it stayed away from the audience and their life and who the audience was, bigger the films started becoming. Okay, and so much success that those films started having, that all the people, all the filmmakers who were known for making rooted mainstream cinema, they started getting completely flabbergasted and getting their heroes from abroad, and the abroad shooting started increasing. I still remember someone offering me a hero's role in New York. I said, I'm not going to look like any one of them, so please don't give it to me. So it was a desperate move, I could see. So that was an aspirational time. Yep. Okay, and it was very much clear that the most of the population was aspiring to be something else, and Shah Rukh Khan was their hero. And Salman, the younger Salman and younger Amir, these were the heroes. Not anymore Mithun Chakravarti, and after few years, not even Govinda was such a fantastic performer.
Fabulous.
Okay,
yeah.
So things started moving away. Now, I think people say that it's during pandemic that they saw this change. No. For a decade, Vishal, I would say that someone, non-filmy told me this, and that was a big revelation. They said, after RRR and Pushpa, they are celebrating Allu Arjun and NTR. They should have taken these guys in any village of Haryana and Bihar, and these guys would have attracted much more crowd than any Bollywood star. Because they were left watching with their dubbed version of films. And they were much bigger stars. Always. It's just that rest of the India realized it only with RRR and Pushpa. Yeah. It's only because they could see their heroes on that small screen. So this is a lesson, not that we should start copying their story or copying how they make it, which is stuck to our filmmaking, our storytelling, but our hero should come from the audience, from our society, from our milieu, as it was with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan time. Yeah. Okay? I personally believe that, and I know that I'm right. I know things will change if we start telling people's story. If we start, getting our hero from the masses. I mean, look at Gadar. It's the biggest example. Gadar 2, I mean, yes, one can argue that, there always was Gadar 1 and Gadar 1 audience, and that has come to the theater. But believe me, all that audience who went to Gadar 2, they were 10 years old when Gadar 1 has come. Okay, so you can't say that there always was a Gadar 1 audience. Okay, Gadar 1 original audience must be, treating himself for diabetes and heart attacks.
We hope not, Manoj.
It's gathered to, because it is talking about the people. I mean, all the cinephile and Anupma Chopra of the world, they can talk about the quality of the film. But the core of it, they wanted to see their story, their hero. And they went to watch it, So somewhere, it's very important that we start, making those mainstream cinemas where the common man is in the center.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think streaming has also had a bit of a role to play, right? What streaming has done essentially is kind of democratize content so that, you could go to a small little town in India, but that person has now been exposed to great storytelling and production value, and therefore is fairly discerning, right? So I think that is the role that streaming has played in, taking it to that last mile and making the consumer a more discerning consumer. So I think within streaming today, we are watching authenticity and loving it, and it's a kind of armchair travel for all of us, right? When you like something like Fodder, it's like you've traveled into that country and you've authentically, got a feeling of that place. So relatability for sure, which Manoj said, and definitely authenticity, I think, also has a definite role to play.
Nawazuddin Siddiqui had once told me कि मुझे सब लोग कहते हैं unconventional. It's like 80% population तो मेरे जैसी लगती है. Why am I unconventional?
He's so right. He is so damn right about it. Most of the people of our country, they look like me and Nawaz. Okay? There was a time when people wanted to be somebody else, so they wanted to, see their heroes as Greek gods. Because that was, as I said, earlier, it was an aspirational time. But now it is a realistic time.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
It is a great thing. So I'm going to end by asking all of you, what is the one thing you want to see happen for South Asian content in the next 2 to 5 years? Pratik, can we start with you?
Oh, I would love South Asian content to reach out to the whole world, because I guess language doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people were earlier concerned about that this language might not reach out to people, and they would do changes to the scripts to that extent. But now nothing is needed. So performance has no language, is just what we kept hearing. Now it is actually that we can see, translating with the audience. So, and we have so much diversity. And forget about the whole South Asia. I'm just talking about Indian stories. 22 legal languages. And apart from that, there are different bolis, which doesn't have grammar, which is just a spoken language. And all these put together, literature-wise, we are so rich that there are so many stories. And as far as complex human emotions are concerned, I guess we have the best human emotional stories that we can tell the whole world. And with these kind of platforms and the kind of revolution that we have seen last 4 years, the world audience is ready for it. So I think I want to see that change, that any language cinema should reach out to the whole world.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Vishal?
I think a Parasite is waiting to happen from here.
Yeah.
I think, and that is what I want to see, a film like Parasite breaking everything and making it to the big all over the world.
Guneet, no pressure.
Absolutely, I agree with Vishal sir. And I actually think that somewhere, again, I come from a producing background and I bring that perspective on the table and I study producing, like I study business of films. So just with that logical conversation, I want to bring co-productions to the table. So when you bring money on the table from India and from the West, you are an invested entity for its success and travel. And that leads to the travel and success of the director, of the talent, of the whole movie, the footprint increases. So I think co-productions, Lunchbox case in point, was India and France signed a treaty in 1985 for co-production. We were the first ones to use it in 2011. And I think the business of films also defines their length of what they can travel in. think from Masan to most of the movies that I have been part of, I think the idea is to expand the footprint. Having said that, I have always said that a Crazy Rich Asian is waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Because most of our Bollywood song and dance, big wedding movies are, you know, what Crazy Rich Asians did so beautifully.
Yes.
And the whole world knows about Indian weddings. So while we do that, of course, a Parasite, I'm ambitious. I want to do a Brown Panther. I want to be able to do, because why not? We have the talent. We have the technicians. And I think somewhere the right kind of co-productions are also at core of it, where we make space for another set of exposure and knowledge to come onto a movie that we create. So yeah, partnerships.
How exciting. Manoj.
Anu, for me, I always believe that middle of the road cinema is the answer to all the problems. Okay, middle of the road cinema, it gives me that space to be a little more indulgent and focus on my creativity and do justice to my filmmaking or to my performance. But at the same time, it provides fodder to the audience to be entertained, okay, and also to be enriched with this story, okay. That is one thing I really want middle of the road cinema to be more popular and to be really in vogue, because if you really go by the example, I mean Steven Spielberg is the biggest example, okay. And so many, I mean, like Vishal, I don't call him an independent filmmaker or a commercial filmmaker. His kind of films have attracted all kind of audiences, okay? Or for that matter, Anurag Kashyap, Gangs of Wasseypur, or Dev D, or Black Friday. So these are the films, they go everywhere, in every corner. They are watched by each and every member of the audience, and also the cinephile. They care to really sit down and analyze those films. I have always been a big fan of this genre. I want middle of the road cinema to be very popular in our country. We go completely extreme. We either make complete potboilers, mindless films, or we make such an indulgent film that we attract very few audiences, and even the distributors or the producers, they start developing cold feet. So somewhere we have to be in between, like Joram or Banda or Gulmohar.
You have to find the sweet spot.
Yes, and I really wish in future that more and more filmmakers like Vishal and Anurag, they choose those kind of filmmaking, those kind of stories.
Nice. Archana, last word to you.
There's no way I can add anything that is anything more than these very accomplished people have said. But to both the points, whether it is the aspiration to go mainstream or to do middle of the road cinema, as Manoj so eloquently said, I hope Z and ZEE5 is very much a part of that journey, so that we meet our dreams and aspirations through these very talented, and illustrious people on this panel. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
May I request you all to stay on stage for a photo op?
Yeah. I know, I think that's going to cover you.
Thank you so much to all our special panelists and guests today. You may take your seats. Archana, I request you to please stay on stage. A huge round of applause for all of them.
Thank you so much, Anupama. That was a really great discussion. It's clearly a time of immense possibilities for South Asians, content and for South Asians. And at ZEE5 Global, we do want to play our role in being the architects of change, creators of crossover content, and champions of a narrative that tells the story that's truly reflective of South Asia and all its glory. That's it for today, folks. But before we wind down, a big warm thank you to everyone who has contributed to this moment